Chapter 5. We stood in the grand hall of the palace with nets set up on the floor. Anila had gathered 20 soldiers, nearly her entire force, and told them what she wanted them to do. She hoped the birds hadn't migrated to this side of the island, so we were to return to the side where we discovered them. I would check the well while the soldiers searched the surrounding jungles. Anila wanted the birds destroyed, seeing as they weren't living creatures. Even though it was dark, the queen didn't want to give the birds time to spread out and infect anyone else. She made an announcement to all of Dargo Island to stay indoors and keep away from any red birds. If they saw any, they were to contact the palace via phone. There was a room dedicated to incoming calls from anywhere on the island. We changed into white suits that reminded me of the kind fencers wear, with helmets to match. Every inch of our bodies was protected from the birds' sharp beaks. We loaded the nets, weapons, and flashlights into trucks and drove back to the other side of the island. The waves were much higher now, the spray reaching over the edge of the cliff. The hill was soaked, the grass making squishy noises under our feet. Astrid and I went straight to the well. Before we could seal the opening with the wooden planks we'd brought from the palace, I got an idea. What if the birds came from the well? "We already know they came from here," she replied. "I mean, what if there's something else down there?" "So what?" "Why would they be down there?" I asked, frustrated and excited. "What if Dargonius is down there? His body, I mean." "Anila did say no one knows what happened to him." Astrid looked thoughtful through her mask. "We should send someone down there." "I'll go. I want to do something crazy." "What if there are more birds down there?" "I have the suit to protect me." I looked around for a large branch that could support my weight. We'd brought rope as well, just in case. Astrid helped me carry a thick log to the well, where I tied the rope tightly around it. I dropped the other end into the well and crawled in after it, pressing my feet to both sides to hold myself in place. "Are you sure about this?" Astrid asked me. I turned on my flashlight. "As soon as I see something, I'll come back up. I'll be fine. Nothing can get me while I'm in this suit." I tapped the chest plate, not even feeling it. Astrid kissed the top of my helmet. "Be careful." "I will." I started climbing down, hand over hand. I used to work out on the mainland, in my old life, so I had a fairly strong upper body. Climbing down isn't hard. It's climbing back up you have to worry about. I'd put the flashlight in a pocket, while Astrid shone hers down the well for me. I immediately felt claustrophobic once I hit the halfway mark, where it was darker. Before I knew it, my feet were in the water. I'd reached the bottom. The water was knee-high and smelled awful. I pulled my flashlight out and told Astrid I was fine. Turning on my light, I saw a small hole in the stone that made up the well. It looked like only one stone had been removed. I felt under the water with my foot and hit something that felt like the stone block. I looked through the hole and barely saw what looked like a bunch of rocks piled up a few feet high. The pile looked to be blocking something. "I found something," I shouted up to Astrid. "Want me to get the others?" "Yes." "Are you coming back up?" "No." "Okay." Her light beam vanished, and I saw her disappear from the well's opening. I started pulling the blocks away from around the hole. They'd been loosened, thankfully. As soon as I'd made a hole big enough for me, I crawled through, hands first, since the ground on the other side of the well was level. I stood on my hands for a few seconds until I could get my feet through the hole. I stood and looked around at the rock pile again. There was a gap, and I could see a door behind it. It was made of rotted wood that had holes of its own. The birds must have pecked their way out. I pulled some rocks away from the pile and pushed on the door, but it was locked. I reached through one of the holes closest to the handle, feeling a lock on the other side. I pulled it and the door opened a crack. I turned back to the well, wondering if I should wait for the others. Then I decided not to. I crawled through the gap I'd made and went through the door.